Okay, so programming, we're talking about the actual code behind the program, okay? And in this video, we're going to talk particularly about internal documentation. So the little notes and things that are left behind in the code to help future developers understand what's happening in the program. So first off, I want to talk about why this is important, and I want to start with the problem, I suppose, that you can see. So this is actually a deliberate problem that Google has done. They've made the code very hard to read so that anyone that gets hold of it can't just copy it and make a second Google and get all of the benefits that Google has worked so hard to create. So they've done things like made it all bunched up together like that. There's all so much information there. It's very hard to read because it is all so close together. There's no white space in between. There's no line breaks to sort of break down different parts of what's happening here. You can see the class here, GB_W, GB_JC, GB_F. I mean, what does any of that mean? I've got no idea. So it makes it quite hard for the next person looking at this to make changes because it's hard to see what's happening. Okay, so that is the problem. Imagine there was an issue with this code and the developers called up at 3 o'clock in the morning trying to fix it. If they haven't seen this code before, they won't understand what's happening. So the solution here, you can see there's lots of white space here. You get a bit of a breath and you can breathe. It's so much nicer to read. Everything has got its own line, HTML, the tag at the top there. And then the next one ahead, you can see it's got its own individual line. So you've got that white space to help you. The class name down here, you can see is center. And straight away you go, okay, what's that class doing? At a guess. It's going to put it in the center. And so you have a rough idea of what you're looking at. So what can you do as a developer to make sure that future developers and the future version of yourself that might be looking at the code can understand what's happening? 3 key things you can do, all right? 3. White space, meaningful names, okay, like the center example, and comments. So white space. A few quick rules here. You want to go 1 statement per line, okay? So 1 line means that 1 thing is being done. So the first example here, you can see console.writeLine. You've just bought a delicious Freddo for $1. 1 thing is being printed to the screen, and that is it. Nothing else is happening in that line. The next line, wallet is equal to wallet minus 1, so $1 is being removed from the wallet. Console.write, your wallet now contains, and then the next line, write down the new value stored in wallet. Next thing you can do is leave an extra line gap between sections, functions, or classes. So if you've got a chunk of code that's doing something, just leave an extra line in between to sort of signify that, that section is now over and we're going to start a new section. An indent, okay, this little white gap here, that indicates that this statement is a part of something bigger. So for the function get first name, this return part belongs to that function. So it is a part of that function. That is what that indent means. So meaningful names include what the variable is doing. So in the example before, we saw that Google used this GB_QC and all the rest of that. I've got no idea what that's doing, right? There's a picture of me scratching my head. Oh, what's that doing? You can imagine yourself at 3 o'clock in the morning if there's a big issue happening and you're trying to find, why is this text not going to the center anymore? And if names come up like that, you're just going to be stuck thinking, oh no, I just want to solve this, go back to bed, but I can't because I don't understand what that is talking about. versus you've got, center, and you go, oh, center. What's that doing? It's putting the text to the middle of the screen. Middle, there. So much more helpful when you've got what the variable is doing in the name. So lastly are comments. So you can include comments like what the code is doing. So you can see this first example here, create an integer variable called wallet and set it equal to 5, okay? And you can see here it's just creating the wallet variable and it's setting the wallet variable equal to 5, okay? So that's just short, sweet, what is the code doing, okay? Here you can see, oh look, the code's getting a bit more complicated now. Maybe if you don't understand what it's doing, you have a quick read of the comment. So buy as many $1 Freddos as you can with the money in your wallet. Oh, okay, I'm going to keep buying Freddos as long as I have enough money in my wallet to do that. And you read the code there and you can see that's exactly what's happening. The next one, again, think about that example of waking up at 3 in the morning. You've been called because your program has an issue and it needs to be solved as soon as possible. Imagine you're working with a group of developers. You open up the program. It's 3,000 lines long. Where do you start looking to find that issue? It's hard. You've got to almost read through and try and find what looks different, what looks out of place, what's changed. I don't know. This is where this next set of comments can come in handy. Okay, so at the top of the file, you can put, your comment JW, so John Williams. All right. A date, 15th of the 5th, 2019. I added a class for student. Okay, so if you're up at 3 a.m. in the morning trying to find an error, what's this error talking about? Some student class, I don't know what's happening. You can go, oh, John added that on the 15th. Maybe he's made an issue. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Let's just remove that change for now. And we can try and solve that during the day as long as we have a working program for now. And we can add this new feature in later. Obviously, John maybe made a little bit of a mistake there. That's okay. Thanks for watching.